Leon Talley is an icon and will remain an icon. He made his mark in the fashion industry and he will forever be remembered as long as time will be. Here are some memories of André Leon Talley that you will not want to miss out on.
Doing this and come over to him, but I was loyal to Kate.
And did you feel there was a story about you that you had not told that needed to be told?
Well, I think that I'm sort of interesting, but I'm not all of that in a bag of chips. I think that I'm interesting on a good day when I've got the right clothes on, such as tonight.
Like today.
But I'm really not that interesting. I mean, I am blessed to have had a story, a trajectory of a career, being a black man from the South, that I was one of the first black men to be seen in the Paris runways in a position of prominence, editing Yves Saint Laurent's, analyzing his couture clothes with the best of them, with John Fairchild on the front row. And so I guess my story is interesting. I think it probably is because I was tall, I arrived in New York, Andy Warhol was my first boss, Diana Vreeland was my most extraordinary and mentor. I was a volunteer for Mrs. Vreeland for about 3 seasons, and we remained lifelong friends. So I had the best of all the worlds. And so from that world, I kept leapfrogging into major positions, such as Andy Warhol, and I would go to the Andy Warhol studios at 12 in the morning. I was making $50 a week. And I was sleeping at the YMCA with the cockroaches, the real ones and the human ones.
You were his receptionist, right? You were his receptionist?
I was what?
You were a reception?
I was a receptionist, but on the side, my moonlighting job was a fashion editor. So my first big interview was with Marc Bohan of Christian Dior. And from that, I did the Carolina Herrera interview. When she first became a designer in 1983, I did her first big interview. And she still remembers that to this day. And we have remained close friends. And I think she's a great, great barometer of elegance. And then the big moment came, and I interviewed Karl Lagerfeld in 1975. It was May. And, Andy he's the most wonderful boss. You could do anything. He could say, Andy would just go around saying, gee, Andre, you could be anything you want. Why don't you be a designer? I said, oh, Andy, please. Oh, Andre, you can be anything. What do you want to be? Oh, Andy, please. Gee. And slowly, the little white hands would snake their way towards my little crotch.
André Leon Talley died at the age of 73, and his official Instagram page announced that with great sadness that the fashion world has lost one of its brightest and most unlikely stars on January 18, after what the Eastern Chronicle described as complications related to COVID. André Leon Talley was born in 1948 in Washington, D.C. to William C. Talley and Alma Ruth Davis. Young André was raised by his grandmother, Binnie Frances Davis, who was a janitor at Duke University. Talley credited his grandmother for giving him the understanding of luxury. André was roughly 10 years old when he first discovered Vogue magazine in a local library. André graduated Hillside High School in 1966. He went on to attend North Carolina Central University, where he majored in French literature. Talley won a scholarship to Brown University and he graduated in 1972 with a master's in French literature. Talley started his dazzling career with an unpaid apprenticeship with Diana Vreeland. Impressed by his abilities, Vreeland was able to secure André Leon Talley a position at André Warhol's factory at an interview magazine. He later worked for Women's Wear Daily, Ebony, and the New York Times. Then in 1983, Talley obtained his dream job. He began working for Vogue magazine. Talley began as a fashion news director for 4 years before transitioning to creative director in 1988. In 1995, André left Vogue to pursue a career with W in Paris. He did remain on with Vogue as a contributing editor, and in 1998, André returned to Vogue full-time as editor-at-large, where he served in that role up until 2013. André Leon Talley was an advocate for the inclusion of African Americans in fashion. He pushed to have their representation equal throughout the industry. He was such an icon, and he was known to push acclaimed designers to feature more African American in their fashion shows. Talley had the honor of advising the Obamas in the area of designer fashion. He himself styled Michelle Obama for a Vogue cover. He introduced Michelle to designer Jason Wu, who would go on to dress the First Lady on so many occasions. The fashion giants lived a colorful and exciting life that could never be compared to any other. Talley did not like the term gay and once stated, "No, I am not heterosexual. I am saying I am fluid in my sexuality." André often attended fashion shows, sitting by his longtime friend and colleague Anna Wintour. He graced the ground of dozens of premieres and shows with other A-list friends. André Leon Talley chose to live a more quiet home life rather than a large, colorful one, just like his personality. His home is surrounded by thick wood and is near housing project. Talley loved spending time on his front porch admiring his manicured Japanese maples. There is no questioning just how influential André Leon Talley was and is. He has been a shining example of having a dream and achieving it beyond measure. Talley did not grow up with lavishing luxury items. He wasn't born with a silver spoon either. Talley's grandmother instilled in him a belief that he could do anything he wanted, and luxury was no exception.
Luxury or nothing.
André Leon Talley's career spanned 6 decades, and his influence will live on through fashion students and aspiring artists like him. Visions of Talley's grand capes and robes will haunt the hallway of New York galleries and studios as long as time will be. American's top model was honored to have André served on its judging panel from 2010 to 2011, and several documentaries have featured Talley, including one about the legend himself, The Gospel According to André. He was also featured in the September issue and the first Monday in May. Talley released a memoir in 2020 and the New York Times bestseller The Chiffon Trenches, where he told stories of his beginnings and span throughout his career. He became a key figure at the magazine while working with Anna Wintour, as well as being a mentor to other Black professionals in the fashion industry. Thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you for supporting my channel. The last favor I want you to do for me is to smash the subscribe button. My name is Bukola, and I will see you guys in the next one.